used to hammer all in front of them, and Wakefield have turned that around now and given a good hiding to the Cass Lasses. And Alton Raidettes 10, Featherstone 30. It was round 2 of the Super League, Wheelchair Super League. Wigan 148, Warrington 18.
A small win.
Yeah, just the narrow win. The next game was a lot closer.
Yeah, it is.
London Roosters got their first win against North Wales, were their opponents, 54-49 in that one. Round 1 of the NRL as well. I watched a little bit of the West Tigers Storm game. Well, in fact, I watched most of it because of watching Gildart's debut and seeing how he went. He went okay, but it's in a side that weren't good enough. But overall, all the results: Panthers 28, Sea Eagles 6. We got some fan views on this one.
We did. Mark Butler said, a breeze for the champions, somehow still game on at the break after absorbing half worth of pressure. A try from deep reduced the deficit to 6. No chance for a comeback, though. The game continued to only go Penrith's way, and ultimately it was a routine win. And White Pie said, Penrith started 2022 where they ended 2021, looking every day now the champions they were last season. Utter dominance from start to finish, and that was without the talisman Cleary. Too early to judge where the teams will finish, but you'd be a fool to bet against the Panthers being too based on that showing.
Yeah, White Pie obviously is on the show next week, so you'll get to hear more from him. Raiders 24, Sharks 19. Broncos 11, Rabbitohs 4. We got a fan view on this one.
Yeah, Mark Butler said, a bit of a surprise. You could see it was a mugging, with an Albert Kelly intercept and late drop goal being the difference. But Souths looked a bit flat throughout, and a much improved Brisbane probably deserved to win by more. Classic first week refereeing with introduction of incorrect play the balls repeatedly pinged. Is it after 4 or 5 weeks that they tend to forget about this? Same over here.
Yeah, and if that was a surprise result, the next one was a bigger surprise result. I think Dom Young was on the try scorer sheet for the Knights. It was 20-6 away at the Roosters. Warriors 16, Dragons 28. West Tigers 16, Storm 26. Eels 32, Titans 28, and Cowboys 4, Bulldogs 6 in a thriller.
Nip and tuck, that's for sure.
We got some reviews in from some other games. So outside of the Wheelchair Super League, the Wheelchair Championships got up and running, and we had a fan review in from Bruiser 664 on the North Wales versus Sheffield game. Do you want to tell us what Sean said and what he said about himself?
Yes, indeed. North Wales started off fast against an Eagles side, playing their first competitive match, getting to a 52-0 lead at half-time. The Eagles managed to rally in the second half, holding Crewe to 22-6, with Chris Haynes becoming Sheffield's first ever try scorer in a league match, diving onto a superb cross-field kick from Sean Orton into the corner. The try was converted brilliantly by Vicky Brooks, with the final score of 74-6.
Yeah, Sean wants to maintain, obviously, that he was the first ever Sheffield wheelchair try scorer, but that was in a non-competitive match. So we'll see how the record books remember it, Sean. But great to hear about that match. And then there was we got a couple of fan views in on the West Hull under 11s versus Beverley under 11s. People might pick up on the significance of this match after we've had the fan views.
Yes, indeed. Scoot says, some really good skills on show for both teams. Beverley took a well-deserved victory, 32 points to 10. Good refereeing on display too. And Joshua's granddad says, faced with a much bigger pack, Beverley did well to contain the opposition until they had a chance to utilise the speed of the outside backs before Beverley ran out winners. The game was more about the young ref making his debut. He will never be the next Chris Kendall, thank God. Clear calls and only missed one tight offside call. No complaints from either team, and thanks from the losing captain. Well done, Joshua. For those of you that don't know, Joshua is Scoot's son and a long-standing, I'd say, core member of the Super League pod team.
Yeah, and it was his refereeing debut at the weekend. We talked a bit about it with Sarah last week on the show. I'm sure we'll hear more when she's next on the show, but well done to the kid getting
Absolutely.
out there and doing what many of us sit behind our TV screens or sit in our seats in the stands and criticise other people doing. He's out there putting it right himself, so good lad.
Having met him quite a few times, I am absolutely convinced Joshua will make a great referee.
Yeah. That's all the results covered. We're now going to move on to making our predictions for round 6 of Super League. Let's make our guesses for round 6 of Super League, David. It kicks off on Thursday night, 8 p.m. on Sky. Wigan face a relatively short turnaround after being in France at the weekend to hosting the Castleford Tigers. This is the game that we normally can talk a bit more about because we know the team sheets. We know that Wigan will be without the 2 forwards that are suspended in Ellis and Singleton. Ethan Havard's back in, first time this year after a long, lengthy injury spell. Also, Sam Halsall's in the 21-man squad. I suspect if Havard's good to go, he'll get in. He's a tall player, gives us a bit of size that we've lost with Singleton being out. And I just expect Partington to come back into the 17 otherwise as well. So I don't expect too much change there. For Castleford, 2 changes to their squad. Jordan Turner has broke his hand, so he's going to be out. George Griffin comes back into contention after a slight injury, and Brett Faremo really should be nowhere near this, but I hope they pick him and that he gets the ban again. But we'll see. I'll probably pick him and he'll have a blinder. But yeah, they're the changes to their 21-man squads. What do you think, David? Do you think Wigan will be able to bounce back after a scratchy trip to France?
Yes. I mean, I'm not tipping Castleford in any game at the moment unless they were playing Toulouse. So, yes, I think Wigan will win this very comfortably. I'm going Wigan by 20.
Right. I'm not sure I feel the same positivity about the comfortableness of this. I think Wigan will be the better side overall, and you would hope that Cass don't fix everything up about their stuttering attack and their woeful goal line defence all just to play Wigan. And Wigan can win still. I got Wigan by 10.
Okay.
Friday night, 7:30 p.m. kickoff over in France for Catalans versus Hull Kingston Rovers. Hull KR last year played Catalans quite close, didn't they? A couple of times. They've been a challenge to some of the top sides, but then they were to Saints recently, and they were not this year. I think Catalans will win. It's a question of how convincing will Catalans be, and I sometimes think Catalans, when they start games well, will take the foot off the gas, especially against lower ranked sides. So I don't think they'll win by a huge margin. I've got Catalans by 8.
They'll have Napa back this week, I think they won't they?
Yeah, until he hits someone in the head.
Yeah, exactly. He might get sent off again. I just think Catalan will be too good for Hull. I'm going Catalan by 14.
Okie dokes. The Sky game on Friday night, 8 p.m. kickoff. It's the first time for Salford in front of the television cameras this year, and it's the 6th time in 6 rounds for Leeds in front of the television cameras this year. I'll let you have first guess on this one.
Yeah, I might go. I can't go to Toulouse on Sunday. And actually, having watched the bloody rain last week in Catalan, I'm not that keen to go to France at this time of year. I think I'll leave it till our second game in June to go and watch them down there. So I might actually go to the Salford Leeds game. It could be quite a good game, I think. This is a tricky one for me. I'm having watched the Salford game last week, just the highlights. I don't think I can tip them, but Leeds were pretty bloody awful as well against Hull. So, but I'm gonna go Leeds, but not with any great confidence. Leeds by 8.
Do you know? I think you've pretty much said how I was feeling when I was picking this one. I've gone Leeds by 10.
Yeah.
Just because I lack a bit of confidence in Salford. The goal line defence seems to have fallen off. Leeds. The thing about Leeds though is how fucked are they? Like the first game of the season, they lost it, but you felt there was a squad there that was together. At least they might not have been performing all great, but there was something there, and you felt that they at least believed in Agar and each other. 5 weeks on, I'm not sure the squad does believe in Agar or each other.
No, I'm not either, and I'm not sure I do.
No, and I think this is this is either the final straw game, or it's a bounce back. I think they're good enough to bounce back.
Yeah.
So I'm going with that.
Yeah.
Saturday, 12:30 a.m. It's March's Channel 4 appearance. So Warrington versus Wakefield they've chosen for some reason.
Bizarre. I'd have probably chosen the Hull Huddersfield game. I think that'll be a belter on Sunday. Warrington versus Wakefield. Wakefield obviously will be pleased to have got off the mark last week. I'm not impressed by Warrington at the moment, either in terms of the way in which the halfbacks are working or the pack. But I still think Warrington will probably squeak home in this one. I'm going to go Warrington by 6.
Yeah, I've got Warrington by 14. I think they've got too many players that are better than Wakefield's players. But let's hope for a bit of Tom Johnson magic on terrestrial television. That would be great, wouldn't it?
Be nice. That would be nice.
Saturday, 5 p.m. Toulouse versus St Helens.
The injury-stricken St Helens, Mark, I think you have to say.
It will be interesting to see how you go without Walmsley. It's a shame that we're seeing how you go against Walmsley, against Toulouse, and against Whitehaven, rather than against sides that actually that might be a leveller.
Yeah.
How many?
Well, I don't know. I mean, it's difficult to tell, isn't it? I mean, particularly after you only managed to squeak home by 1 there, I don't think we can take them lightly. I think, however, Saints' stranglehold defence is the key to the way in which we play. We're obviously scoring a lot more points this year than we did last year, but I can't see Toulouse scoring a lot of points against us. So I think Saints by 16.
I think you'll be a bit more comfortable than that. I think it can be quite easy to score against Toulouse at times, and you haven't taken your foot off the gas yet. So until it happens, I can't expect it to happen. I've got Saints by 24, but I think it could be Saints by 40. Sunday, 3 p.m. Hull FC versus Huddersfield. I oohed a bit when I was thinking about Salford Leeds. I oohed a bit with this game as well, because how do you pick a Hull FC game?
Who knows?
Do we go with the pattern?
Who knows?
So if we go with the pattern, in round 6 they should lose, because they won in round 1, lost in round 2. If I went with that pattern, in round 7 they play Wigan. So what I'm thinking is it's not about the rounds, it's about the weeks. So they're going to beat Sheffield in the Cup and then lose to Wigan, and they're going to lose to Huddersfield in this game. I've got Huddersfield by 8, and I'm being a bit jokey and stuff there, and this is a game I would have liked to have been on TV.
I would have liked this to have been on TV. I'd have liked this to have been on down the road, and I could have gone, not being able to go and watch the Saints this week. So I am going for Huddersfield because I just think they're a better team at the moment. I think in Connor, Hull have got the outstanding player, I think, but I think Huddersfield are probably the better team, and so I'm going Huddersfield, but in a tight one by 4.
It's the battle of the two big try assists, isn't it? Lola here and Connor at both at fullback are opposite each other.
Should be good.
I just think so much stuff seems to be working well for Huddersfield this year.
Yeah.
And I can sort of tie them down a little bit more at the moment than I can Hull FC. So that's why I'm picking Huddersfield. Yeah, Huddersfield by 8. Championship game of the week. We've picked out the entertainers, Barrow, against a London side that need to start showing something. It's a long trip for London. See if they can get anything out of that game. Sunday at 3 p.m. So if anyone's at that game, we would love to hear about how